guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a lovely weekend. What I wanted to do in this week's video is I wanted to do my 2019 everyday updated drugstore makeup routine. I can do this between like 15 to 20 minutes on a morning, and you know what, I've had a lot going on. It's been a bit of a tough few weeks, but makeup is there to make you feel better about yourself, to make you feel relaxed and just, you know, just brighten your day. So if you want to see like how I did this look and how I went from looking a bit emotional and a bit tired to this glam, then keep watching. Hi guys, so I'm back, completely makeup free. I will be honest with you guys, obviously I'll go through it whilst I'm getting ready with everyone, but we did have a bit, you know, I've had a lot going on. I'm coming off some of my medication, and I was upset last night crying because obviously if you watch my Instagram stories you'll know my dog was sadly put down. Which was a bit of a shock, so please bear in mind that that's why I'm looking a bit puffy, and also my nail completely broke just from the stress of it all, so they look fairly neat, but obviously please ignore like this little one that's completely stubbed. So anyway, I'm going to power through and kind of show you how I'm going to fix this and make myself look a bit more glam. So I'm just going to clip this part of my hair back. I might just turn it round like that, just so it's not looking in the way. Now, again, I can't see without my glasses. You can see, like, my eyes are a bit puffy because I've been crying and whatnot, but we can fix that. So, first thing I'm going to use is my Nivea. Right, sorry guys, I had to answer that phone call just because it was the vets about Alfie's ashes. But anyway. So I'm going to put on my Nivea face primer. I've used this for years now and I just find that it makes everything go on nicely. And then I love Aquaphor at the moment, so I bought little travel tubes that I can use. And I'm just going to pop it on my lips. I'm using the camera as like my viewfinder right now, underneath my eyes and just on my forehead. My skin is like really like looking a bit stressed out and whatever at the moment, so please ignore that. I can definitely tell that I'm a bit stressed at the moment. I look a bit tired, but we can fix it. So, other thing I'm going to do is spray the Rimmel Insta Fix Go setting spray. Just to give a nice base. And the first thing I do is my brows. If you've watched a few of these now, you'll know, like, a lot of these products, this is obviously like my go-to makeup. I wear it every day. It's quick for me. Obviously if I'm not chatting my ass off, it'll take a lot less time, but I just kind of wanted to go through it. It's all drugstore. So I'm using the Freedom Duo Brow Powder in dark brown. This has lasted me forever and I finally hit pan. Oh, just dropped my brush. I don't like to fill them in too much because I tint them myself once a week, but I just like to have them filled in, and I just follow the natural shape of them. And I tend to like mix between the lighter and the darker shade, just so like it's not, my eyebrow isn't just one shade, if that makes sense. So there's one. Just going to do the other. And then for my foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. Shade WD, so D3, and I'm just going to use probably about a pump and a half, because I use concealer and I'm going to put that on any spots and sort of under eye I can fix it. So my skin is a bit all over the place. I'm aware this foundation looks a bit yellow in the camera, but I promise you it will blend out. I do like my skin to look a bit warmer, which is why I do a slightly darker foundation. But I had my break from the pill, so that always makes me break out. I'm going to do like a separate video on this, but I've also not been very well, so I had the flu. And then I got signed off by the doctor for exhaustion, just because I was so just tired, and I always thought that only celebrities got exhaustion, but it is actually a thing. I'm on vitamin D tablets now twice a day permanently, just because the doctor found that that was probably what was causing my tiredness. I've had another lot of blood tests, and hopefully my potassium levels were just abnormally high on that one go of it. I've not had any letter from the doctor, so I'm hoping haven't got high potassium, because it means I'm going to have to change a lot of my diet. I'm also coming off my antidepressant that I take at night. I'm on 2 currently. I'm on sertraline in the morning and mirtazapine at night. But the problem with mirtazapine is it knocks me out. And it can be a bit of a pain, like if I go away for the weekend, if I have a night out and I take the tablet, I fall asleep. So I'm coming off that gradually. But unfortunately also, obviously, Alfie, my dog, my Yorkie, wasn't very well. Hadn't been very well for the last few weeks. We thought that he'd fallen off the bed and that was causing it. But he took a turn for the worse yesterday. My mum took him to the vet. Initially they said they were going to take him to the vet hospital for x-ray, so I went with my dad there. On the way home from work I was like, right, I've got a bad feeling, let's go home. We were sat waiting for like an hour and I was like, something's not right. And then we got a phone call from my mum. We just said, right, it's been about an hour now, I don't think he's going to come here. And she said that she decided to have him put to sleep because he had an enlarged heart, enlarged kidney, and he also had lots of other problems, so like gallstones, a growth, like loads of stuff. It's really sad. Obviously it's come as a big shock, and if you know me and like my Instagram quite well, my mum's got MS, so she's housebound, so like for her it's heartbreaking. So obviously it's still raw, we're a bit in shock right now. It obviously just happened last night. And obviously we're just trying to sort out the whole Ashes situation. I think, like, initially my mum was like, no, I don't want them, whereas I actually thought I do want them. I think we're looking into having them made into, like, jewellery, just so I've got something, because he really was, like, there for me through a lot. There's a lot of stuff I've been through which I don't go into. I might open up a bit more on it on another day, but, you know, pets are a part of your family and they're a big thing. So, I wanted to kind of come on here, just keep myself busy, film a lot of videos because it makes me happy, and I find makeup really relaxing and therapeutic every morning when I do my makeup, so I thought I'd come on here. So that foundation's done a pretty good job at covering my blemishes, as you can see, because I'm a bit stressed and I've been crying. I do break out, and it's like hormones and all of that, you know what I mean. So I'm going to go in with my Revolution Conceal and Define. Pop it underneath the eyes. I also just like to pop some down my nose. I've got a little blemish on the top of my forehead. I'm also just gonna pop some there on the other blemish. I look kind of like a clown right now. Just go back in with my Real Techniques brush, and because the concealer is quite light, I use the shade. I can't talk. I use the shade C2. I love that this is all Drugstore, by the way. I think Drugstore is really up their game. But because the concealer is lighter, it just kind of lightens the foundation also, which is why I quite like having a darker shade. And my next step is going to be bake. So I use my Coty Airspun powder. And I'm just going to dab a bit into the pot. I've got this little beauty blender which I used in my KKW beauty review, and I really like the shape of it for like packing on powder underneath my eye. So I'm just going to press it into the skin underneath my eyes. I also quite like to bake over any blemishes, just because I find that it helps like set that concealer in place. I just like to do a bit on my T-zone and forehead as well. Lovely, looking like Casper the Ghost Hand. Now, at the moment, especially for every day, I actually prefer how my eyes look without eyeshadow on, which sounds a bit weird, but I'm really enjoying it. So what I instead like to do is I just keep the eye like really clean. I just do my liner, I pop my lashes on. This is literally what I do for everything, filming, photos. But what I saw, I know Makeup by Mario does a lot, and I know a lot of makeup artists do this, is they put concealer underneath the brow. Now, I used to do this when I was younger, but my eyebrows were a bit of a disaster, so I was a bit reluctant to do it. But I actually quite like the way it looks, with like no eyeshadow especially. I just find that it makes everything pop. So I'm going to use my L'Oreal Concealer Pomade in Light, which is, again, has lasted forever. I'm going to use the zoomed in side of my mirror, and I'm just going to go underneath that brow. I don't like to go in too heavy, but I just find that it makes everything, especially with glasses, I feel like eyebrows are quite important, and I just find that it just makes them a little bit more lifted as well. Just makes them look really sharp and like popped and everything, so I'm a bit obsessed with doing this at the moment. And then I'm just going to take a bit more of that pomade and just pop it all over my lid, just to brighten that area, because as I said, I've been crying, so my eyes are a little bit puffy and red. Now, I've been obsessed at the moment with BH Cosmetics, and I'm a little bit in love with this palette. A girl in work was like, you need to try this palette, Han, and I'm really glad I have, because I've been using it every day since. I think I'm going to use it for my contour as well today. It's the BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette. It's really good. Beautiful shimmery highlight shades and eyeshadow, so that is what I've been using at the moment, just for everything. So I am just going to take from my Amazon brush set, which was in some of my other videos, I'll link it again down below. I'm just going to take the shade Sand, which is just a neutral shade, and just pop it all over the lid. It's just to set everything and make it look bright. Now I will speed up the next part, but I am just going to do my liner. So I'm using my Maybelline black gel liner with a little fine brush, and I just do a thin line, like I don't do a wing, I just literally follow the natural shape of my lash line, and then I also go in the waterline. So I'm just going to do that bit now, and I'll speed it up for you guys. Right, so liner is done. just find it makes my eyes look a bit more like away, especially for photos. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some mascara on. So I'm going to use my Revolution, the One Mascara. I've just ordered the waterproof one just because I love that mascara. And then I'm going to pop on a pair of lashes. So I'm going to use these Lankiz false eyelashes from Amazon. They're basically dupes of the Demi Wispies. I have these in another sort of style that I wear pretty much every day. You can reuse them a few times. So I'm going to pop them on and then I'll come back. Hi guys, I'm back. So the lashes are on and the liner. It makes a bit of like so much difference, doesn't it? I'm just going to spray a bit more setting spray just before I set and, you know, mat down the bake, just to make sure everything's looking nice. So again, I've been watching a lot of tutorials and videos with makeup by Mario, and I've noticed he uses puffs a lot, so I bought some cheap ones from Amazon. I'm going to use my Maybelline Superstay powder. I've just also ordered their powder foundation because I've heard it's really good for like just setting and brightening in general. And at the moment, rather than like brush it away, I've been using a puff just to kind of pat it in, just because I find otherwise like you're moving the powder and everything like in the bake and the concealer, whereas if you're just dabbing it in, it just looks, I think, just more smooth and like flawless. So that's that. For my contour, just because I want to keep this Drugstore, I'm going to actually use one of the eyeshadows in the Desert Oasis palette. So I'm going to use the shade Canyon, which is basically really similar to Benefit Hoola. I'm just going to make sure that I just tap off any excess. And I'm just going to quickly, I didn't spend ages on my nose contour, especially every day. I just want it to look cute like a button. And then for blush, I have just bought a contour like set from BH Cosmetics. I've just bought, I'll grab it, this palette, which is the Blushing in Bali palette, which I can just tell I'm going to love for every day because it's blushes and highlights. But what I've been using at the moment is this really nice pretty blush. If I can just find a blush brush, that would be just great. So, especially because I used to like mix all my different blushes together, but like I'd rather just do it all in one go. So it's the BH Cosmetics Floral Blush in Caribbean Coral, and I just basically go between these two shades. And I pop more of the pink on the cheek. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'll know that I use blush as contour, and I tend to like have to use two separate, like one for the contour part, which is more of a like orangey peachy, and then the pink, just drop my brush, and then the pink for the cheekbones. But with this, I can use one blush to do the same effect. You just kind of, I just kind of go between the shades. I'm just going to pop some on my forehead. And then for highlight, I'm just going to spray another spritz of setting spray before I do this. And I'm going to go back in with the Desert Oasis palette, and I'm going to go for the shade Serenity, which is like a really pretty shimmery pink. There's so many different highlight options in this palette, which is why I like it. And it's so pigmented as well. Like, this palette is going to be great for like when you go away and you just want to take one palette that you can do everything with. Look how pretty that is. And I don't like my highlights to look too in your face, but especially when you're tired and you've been crying, you just kind of want a glow, don't you? And then I'm just going to take a little itty bitty pointed brush, go back in with the shade Serenity and just pop some down the bridge of my nose and on the centre, just to make it look nice and snatched. And then I'm just going to put some underneath my brow bone and in my inner corner, which I feel like is such a good makeup hack in general if you want to look more awake. And then what I tend to do just to finish up is I just go back in with the puff. I just pat everything in just to make sure it's like all blended together and it's not looking like separate. And then for my lips, I'm going to use, again, because it's Drugstore and I wear these every day, I'm going to use my Rimmel lip liner, which I love, with the Revolution Pro Supreme Lip Pigment in the shade Spiritual. I'll speed you up for this bit just because I've done a lot of lipsticks on this channel. And yeah, so that is my finished everyday makeup. I just feel like it makes me look really awake. It's quick and easy. Like when I do this in the morning, I can literally do this in like 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm just going to pop the old specs back on and release the clip. And yeah, all done. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll list the products in the down below just so you've got them and you can see them. If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe, give it a like and a thumbs up. I'll love you forever if you do. Let me know if you want me to do any more get readies with me, if you want me to do certain brands, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.